This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hi there, ho, there's Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, July the 23rd, is a former Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, and Athletics shortstop. He had 2 Grand Slams in a single game, only done by 12 other players. And he's the only guy to hit 2 Grand Slams in a single game on his being a home player, which is weird. Anyway, he was a 6-time All-Star, AL Rookie of the Year and Silver Slugger Award winner. He unfortunately would suffer many injuries which would ruin him in a sense. He does have the highest single-season batting average by a right-handed batter post-World War II, batting .372 in 2000, and won the 99 and 2000 batting titles. And first right-handed batter since Joe DiMaggio. He's 49 years old. He is Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar Garciaparra is of Mexican-American descent, if you didn't figure that out. Anyway, he was drafted in the 5th round of the 91 draft by the Milwaukee Brewers, but he didn't want to sign. So he went to Georgia Tech and helped them make the 94 Cultural Series title game, where they lost to Oklahoma. He was a star for Georgia Tech. The Red Sox decided to pick him up in the 1st round of the 1994 draft, and it was huge. He looked pretty good. In 96, near the end of the year, they decided to call him up, the Red Sox did. He was a defensive replacement against the A's on August 31st, 1996, going 0 for 1. However, his first major league hit was a home run off Oakland's John Waston, September 1st. Garciaparra did pretty well in his initial start. And in 97, he was up for good. He was their shortstop. He had 30 home runs, alongside his 209 base hits, which was a Red Sox rookie record, and 98 RBIs, setting a new major league record for RBIs by a leadoff hitter, and most homers by a rookie shortstop. So RBIs by a leadoff hitter, and not just rookies. Anyway, he batted .306 with a 30-game hitting streak, which set an AL rookie record. He stole 22 bases and hit 11 triples. Unanimously was given Rookie of the Year. I mean, you really think? He won the Silver Slugger Award, and the Red Sox fans call him Noma. In 98, the Boston Red Sox decided to sign him to a 5-year deal worth $23 million. It was amazing, all that. But once the 98 season started, he actually wasn't the leadoff guy anymore. He was typically third or cleanup. But it worked. In 98, he had 35 home runs, 122 RBIs, and was runner-up in the AL MVP voting to Juan Gonzalez, if I remember right, or was that Pudge? Anyway, he batted .323, which was pretty good and all that. Nomar did okay in his first postseason appearance for the Red Sox against the Indians in the 98 Division Series, but they got beaten. Garciaparra batted .357 to win the 99 batting title, hitting 104 RBIs in just 135 games. He had 2 Grand Slams against the Seattle Mariners, becoming the only player in Major League history to have 2 Grand Slams in a game, and at his own ballpark. He was named to the All-Star game in 99. He batted second, and the game was in Boston. He helped Boston get to the LDS against Cleveland when they memorably were down 2-0. Nomar was a key cog in the machine. He did pretty well hitting, but the team didn't do so well. In the 99 ALCS was a Yankee sweep, if memory serves me right. In 2000, Nomar looked poised to hit 400, which would be the first since Ted Williams. As late as July 20th, he had the 400 mark. Unfortunately, the summer made him slip. He still got a .372 batting average to lead the American League, and was the highest batting average by a right-handed batter post-World War II. Looked pretty good and all that. Nomar appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated in February 2001, and people said that the photo was controversial because it fueled the inevitable speculation of steroid use. Unfortunately, the week after the issue hit the newsstands, Garciaparra aggravated a wrist injury and had to start the season on the DL. Thanks a lot, SI covered Jinx. He would not start his first game in that year till July 29th. Fortunately, the rest would really hurt him. 21 games you saw, which was pathetic. And a lot of people said that Nomar's wrist injury ruined his trajectory. There was a statistical study that said that Nomar could have up to 500 home runs. Nah, I doubt it. But anyway, in 2002, he seemed to have recovered from his injuries, driving in 120 runs and leading the AL with 56 doubles. Nomar got 156 games in. Unfortunately, there would be contract extension issues because a new ownership group purchased the Red Sox and couldn't agree to it. Garciaparra would get a 4-year, $60 million deal, but it took a while. However, he had a good All-Star season in 2003. He had 28 home runs and 105 RBIs. Not bad. Garciaparra had an uncharacteristic bad 2003 postseason. And rumors were circulating that the Red Sox would trade Manny Ramirez to Texas for Alex Rodriguez to get the shortstop spot and knock Garciaparra out. And if the A-Rod deal went through, then the Red Sox had to deal with the Chi Sox to trade Garciaparra for Miguel Ordonez. Both deals were shut down because A-Rod's willingness to sacrifice $250 million, a huge amount of his contract, to facilitate a deal to Boston. So Aaron Boone got injured playing off-season basketball. The rival Yankees decided to get A-Rod. Garciaparra got back to Boston for the 2004 season. Everyone thought that Nomar would not come back to the Red Sox after 2004. And unfortunately, he got an Achilles injury. Garciaparra did pretty well for himself. Unfortunately, his defense saw a massive decline. All that. Boston GM Phil Epstein said that the team's weak point was the defense and needed to fix it. And anyway, Boston decided that they needed some help. And with Garciaparra being a little injury prone recently, they decided to trade him to the Chicago Cubs. Well, he didn't really like it. It was a 4-team deal with the Cubs, Expos, Red Sox, and Twins. So Garciaparra was sent to the Cubs. The Red Sox got Orlando Cabrera from the Expos, the last great Expos shortstop before they moved to Washington, and Boston took Doug Mankiewicz from Minnesota. But Nomar expressed his appreciation to the Red Sox fans. Garciaparra was given number 8 because Michael Barrett were number 5. But Barrett decided to switch numbers. So anyway, the Cubs were doing well in the wild card, but they fucked it up. Worse for Nomar, I guess in a sense, was that the Red Sox would go on to win the World Series over the Cardinals. However, the team did decide that Nomar should get a World Series ring and a playoff share worth $167,000. Kurt Schilling actually said that if it wasn't for Nomar, the Red Sox would not have been in any position. Because he said that Nomar's ascension as a player had drew Pedro Martinez Manran and Schilling himself to Boston. Garciaparra couldn't get the long-term contract because of his injury and all that. He would sign a 1-year deal with the Cubs. Unfortunately, a growing injury would ruin him. Unfortunately, though, Garciaparra was accused of having used steroids, and his injuries are because of steroids. But Garciaparra flatly denied it. Nomar did okay, but then he was a free agent again, and LA decided to sign him to a one-year deal for $6 million. Ironically enough, former Boston players Bill Miller and Derek Lowe were on the team. So, yeah, it was huge. Nomar was moved to first base as the Dodgers took Rafael Furcal from the Braves. So Garciaparra would actually regain his stroke and all that. He looked pretty good. Into the All-Star break, he was actually leading the National League with a 358 batting average. In fact, Nomar, that average was the second highest average by a Dodger player since, well, into the All-Star game, since the Dodger Stadium was built in '62, and that was Mike Piazza being the 363 in '96. However, he got to the All-Star game and all that. I was happy. Nomar would have a 303 batting average with 20 home runs, 93 RBIs. He was named Comeback Player of the Year in the National League, but the Dodgers were swept by the Mets in the playoffs. But what made the 2006 season memorable was Nomar Garciaparra was the guy who ended one of the craziest games of all time. Dodgers were down by 4 runs to the San Diego Padres. And Trevor Hoffman, lights out or Hell's Bells as a closer, came up, and all of a sudden he couldn't stop throwing home runs. 4 home runs tied the game, but it was Nomar's home run in the 10th that sealed the Dodgers' win. Nomar looked pretty good in all that. Unfortunately, injuries would ruin him in a sense. He could have played in the 2008 NLCS against the Phillies, but he didn't. Yeah. No, sorry, he did play, but the Phillies won that one. Garciaparra signed a one-year deal with Oakland. Garciaparra award number 1 with the A's until he got his number 5 back after Matt Holliday was traded to St. Louis. Garciaparra then subsequently retired after the 2009 season. In his 14-year career, he batted .313 lifetime with 229 home runs and 936 RBIs. Not bad. Nomar took a one-day contract with the Red Sox to retire as a Red Sox thing. He took a job with ESPN contributing analysis for Baseball Tonight and Wednesday Night Baseball. So anyway. That's huge. The Dodgers signed Garciaparra to be part of their broadcast team in 2014. He would be a pre- and post-game analyst for Sportsnet LA and would actually call most of the team's road games on the Dodger radio network with Rick Monday. And then on road games, he would be promoted with Charlie Steiner and Orel Hershiser. Ironically enough, I did a thing on Charlie Steiner just a few days ago. Garciaparra would be inducted into the Red Sox Hall of Fame, but not the real Hall of Fame. Anyway, yeah. Nomar had a younger brother, Michael, who was selected in the first round of 2001 MLB draft by Seattle, but never went up to the big time. Garciaparra in 2003 would marry Mia Hamm, legendary World Cup soccer player. They have twin girls born in 2007 and a son in 2012. So yeah, it was amazing. Garciaparra would be known for his batting glove adjustments and alternating toe taps on the ground prior to an ensuing pitch. I believe that a couple of games, I think AAA Baseball, did his toe taps, and he was part of Backyard Baseball, if I remember. Garciaparra actually was a hero because 2 women had fallen into Boston Harbor outside of his condo. Garciaparra jumped into the harbor and saved both women. So that's amazing. What a hero he is. He was a great Boston player, and I wish that he got to play for the 2004 Red Sox team. But he got a ring. That's good enough for me. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.